Well, today Bungie revealed details about the future of Destiny 2, and also today is a very special date as it's Destiny's 10th birthday. Well, today I want to get into all the latest news from Bungie, and we're going to look ahead to the future. We've got new expansions coming, reworking of content models, all that and more coming to Destiny 2. Well, today Destiny 2 game director Tyson Green and Destiny 2 narrative director Alison Lurs came out and they let us know their plans for the future of the game. So there's quite a lot to digest here, and let's start off with Tyson Green's comments. So Tyson says, "My name is Tyson and I am the game director for Destiny 2. I'm excited to speak today about our team's vision for Destiny. First and foremost, we still all love Destiny. It's a unique and challenging game, both for you and for us, and I've personally been working on Destiny for 15 years, and it still excites me creatively. There's not many games that I could say that about. But at the same time, we recognise that it's become too rigid. Expansions have started to feel too formulaic and are over too quickly with little replay value. Seasons and episodes keep getting bigger but can still feel like you're going through the motions. We believe it is time for Destiny to change and evolve, and our community wants this game to grow and innovate too. And to do that, we need to start breaking down some of the moulds. Well, first of all, we've got annual expansions. So we love creating annual expansions and are especially proud of the final shape, but the truth is, they dominate almost all of our development effort. We need to free ourselves up to explore and innovate with how we deliver Destiny 2 content, so we can invest in areas of the game that will feel more impactful to players. Well, starting next year, instead of one big expansion, we're going to deliver 2 medium-sized expansions, one every 6 months. Each of these will depart from the one-shot campaign structure we've been using essentially unchanged since Shadowkeep, and each will be an opportunity to explore exciting new formats instead. We're excited to try new things and challenge your idea of what a Destiny experience can be. We're actively prototyping non-linear campaigns, exploration experiences similar to the Dreaming City or Metroidvanias, and even more unusual formats like roguelikes or even survival shooters. Each expansion will present a new opportunity to try and do something different. Departing from one-shot campaigns doesn't mean we're turning away from great storytelling. Going forward, we want to return the mystery and wonder that was woven into the fabric of early Destiny, when the story felt ripe with possibilities and an epic sense of exploration and discovery. Great stories are as important as ever in our creative vision, and Alison is going to touch on that in a minute. Well, next up we've got seasons, so with the change of 2 expansions per year, our seasonal model will be changing as well. Instead of 3 episodes, we're going to be building 4 major updates per year, one every 3 months. Each expansion is going to launch alongside a major update at the start of the season, and then a second major update will follow 3 months later to refresh the core game with new and reprised content, including activities, strikes, exotic missions, or entirely new modes like Onslaught, so that's very good news. Rewards include weapons, armor, artifact mods, exotics, and more. We've got new weekly events, which is very intriguing, new features, also very intriguing, and combat meta and balance updates. The big seasonal resets are still going to happen, but now twice a year alongside the expansions. Each update is going to be a substantial refresh of the core game, bringing new activities and reward content. We're also excited to announce that, like Destiny 2 Into the Light, these updates and their content are going to be free for all players. We want Destiny to be easier for anyone to play or recommend, and we want to remove the major barriers to that experience. That means we've got to talk about the core game itself. Well, the core game is Destiny's always available evergreen activity experience, and we need to fix 2 key things with it. So first of all, the approachability. Destiny is just too complex with literally hundreds of activities. You practically need a PhD to decide what to play and how to get rewards that you're looking for. We're going to start to fix this by modernising our activity UI, the director, to make it easier for everyone to find and launch integrate activities. And we're going to be reworking our reward model to make sure that all of these activities offer meaningful rewards. Our deep dives on activities and rewards go into more detail in particular. Well, next up, gear and challenge should matter, so even great activities stop mattering if the challenge dries up and the rewards just aren't worth it. So we're going to be investing in greatly improved challenge customization systems to let players of any skill range find the right challenge level for them, with rewards that improve based on the challenge level you take on. These won't just be simple incoming damage increases either. The team are cooking up some great gameplay modifiers that give enemies some exciting tools to mix things up on every run. We're going to have a deep dive coming soon to show off those new threats. As for the rewards, there's going to be higher tiers of the legendary gear, so think adept weapons and artifice armor. There's going to be more available from these higher challenge ranges in a much wider variety of activities, both across PvE and PvP. And these two changes are going to help the core game experience to be easier to drop into and much deeper in terms of variety and pursuit of personal mastery. And they are a starting point for ongoing changes aimed to continuously improve Destiny in these regards. Well, next up we got Alison Lurs, who's going to talk about the next multi-year saga, starting with codename Apollo. Alison says, "Hi, I am Alison, and I'm the D2 narrative director. I'm a fresh face at Bungie, and I started doing narrative direction for seasons in fall of 2022, and my first D2 expansion was The Final Shape. So we're proud of The Final Shape and the ending we created for the Light and Darkness saga, and we knew that the episodes that would follow would act as an epilogue, tying up the Light and Darkness's hanging threads, also setting us up for what's next. The episodes close doors and open new ones, purposeful ones, storylines that are set in place to prepare us for what comes next. And what is next is our new saga. You're going to see teasers of it in the later 2 episodes, and then it fully kicks off with codename Apollo. This is the next saga, also based around a core theme, much like the Light and Darkness saga did. It's going to introduce plenty of new characters, factions, twists and more. There's a lot more here that we want to say eventually, but we don't want to spoil that journey for you. This is going to be a multi-year journey, and one that we can't wait to take with you. Our first expansion, codename Apollo, is a non-linear, character-driven adventure. But what do we mean by non-linear? Well, previously in stories like The Final Shape, you experience the story as A to B to C to D in a nice straight line. In codename Apollo, our story takes place over a dozen threads, and you're going to explore and discover. So when you land on our brand new location, the story starts at A, and then you can choose, you might want to go to C, or maybe go to B, and then investigate D. And the options you didn't choose, well, don't worry, those other options are still open for you to go back and play through. You're going to need to, because the more you play and discover, the more the story progresses. So experiencing a certain number of threads opens up the next part of the story. The order in which you explore will be something you choose, and we've built codename Apollo in a way that the story always makes sense and flows from the beginning to the middle to the end. There's no time gating, no waiting for the next drop. Codename Apollo's story unfolds based on player progression. Destiny is at its best when it's mysterious, weird, and not afraid to try new things. This shift to non-linear stories isn't something we're locking ourselves into, but it's a structure that fits codename Apollo best. The narrative structure of the releases that follow will be quite different, a structure to suit that game's experience, and we want to continue to innovate with each expansion across both gameplay and also narrative as well. Well, this all sounds like a big change, and it is, because when a rhythm of our story becomes predictable, or when characters or our world fail to change, that is how we create a situation and not a story. So how can we innovate? Well, by telling a story that keeps up with our innovation, not one that slows it down. And that means an evolving world, giving space for new characters, growing and evolving factions, making sure the story that we tell is in a world we have nurtured, with characters who grow in turn. We believe in rewarding the player for paying attention without punishing someone for not knowing something, and that way everyone gets to come along for the ride no matter how deep in the lore that they are. And you're going to see that approach starting with episodes and continuing into the new multi-year story. So when we think about a multi-year arc, what does that look like? Well, think of it as a constellation of stories united by a single theme. We're going to show you what that theme is later, but suffice to say we believe in it. Think of this multi-year arc as a web and not a line. Each release fits into the larger saga, and we can't wait to take you on that journey. Story is easy to spoil, so I'm not going to ruin the details of what's in the theme in Codename Apollo or what it's about. I'll give you something to look forward to. Apollo ends with the narrative gasoline that are going to propel us into the next few years with a clear theme, a goal, and a destination that won't come at you in a straight line but will be well worth the trip. It's going to reward you, it's going to surprise you, and it's going to take us places Destiny has never seen before. Well, that is it from the Bungie dev team, and next up I want to go into my thoughts. So first of all, Bungie, they just had to come out and start talking about the future of Destiny 2, given the player count has been dropping. We just had the end of the Light vs Darkness saga with the final shape, and also today marks the 10-year anniversary of Destiny. Bungie are still working through the ramifications of the latest rounds of layoffs. They're going to have to do more with less and hopefully turn the player sentiment around. But on my initial read-through on this update from Tyson and Allison, there are some good things in here. So Destiny has become formulaic, and it's good to see their intention to switch things up. They put so much development effort into the main campaigns only for them to be one and done activities. We've also heard reports that sales of major expansions have been decreasing year over year. Destiny 2 has been in a formula since Shadowkeep, and that has become tired. I'm looking forward to see what these two smaller expansions approach will be and what it's going to do to their content pipeline. The approachability theme seems to be focused on new players and improving the new player experience. This probably isn't going to directly impact my gameplay experience, or maybe not even yours, given I understand the game pretty much completely. However, I would imagine tons of players try Destiny 2 and fall off quite quickly, or they come back from a hiatus and then fall off again because it's hard to understand. So making the game more approachable could positively impact player retention, and more players playing Destiny 2, well, that is good for all of us. Reviewing the challenge in the game is going to speak to the core players or the veteran players. If approachability is speaking to new players, then challenge is going to speak to those veteran players. Now, our Guardians are simply too powerful, and increasing the challenge and tailoring the rewards is going to improve the player experience for many long-time players of the game. There's also a big focus here on doing things differently in this article, which, to be honest, at this point, has to be a good thing. We're in a rhythm of content right now, one that has become predictable and much less interesting. Now, whether it's storytelling or features in the game, it's good to see Bungie try and innovate and do new things. Well, the non-linear storytelling aspect is interesting, although we've seen varying degrees of success with this in other games. Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom do come to mind with non-linear storytelling, and feedback on that story hasn't been too well received. It's difficult to make a snap judgment on Bungie's plans. I think they really need to show and not tell. It's good that they're talking about the future because many players are dropping off, so Bungie are clearly going through the ringer at the moment as a studio given the layoffs, Sony's taking more control, and they're having to build Destiny with a significantly smaller team. Now, I'm going to hold judgment though until we see something. I would imagine if we're going to get the first expansion in summer 2025 with Apollo, we're likely to hear something around February 2025, perhaps with a showcase or a Vidoc revealing that project codename Apollo. Until then, we've got 2 new seasons, and while episode Echoes got off to a slow start, I am really liking the storytelling through the exotic mission, and things appear to be kicking into gear. Next season with Revenant, we're going to storytelling with the Fallen, so that is going to be exciting, and then we've got an episode dedicated to the Hive, and I'm really excited for Heresy. That is going to be absolutely fantastic, so can't wait for that. Well, happy 10-year anniversary to Destiny. And if you've watched any of my content over those last 10 years, I really appreciate you watching. And hopefully you'll tune in for the next one too. But let me know in the comments what you think about Bungie's plans and also their announcements today. I would love to hear what you think. But that is it for this video today, looking at the future of Destiny 2 and what they are planning with their new expansions and also big changes. As always, thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget you can hit that subscribe button down below for even more Destiny 2 content here on Endgame Express. You can also like the video and share the video too. That would help me out here on the channel. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.